school comes the goddess of the nation. Promise you that one. I'm sanctuary. I express and live my life in a state. I promise you. Baby, what?
I breathe deeply and return to a grounded state. I'm a sacred temple. No one who meets me is ever the same.
No.
My body is sacred. My mind is sacred. My eyes are sacred. My conversation is sacred. My time
Definitely my conversation
I'm
sacred.
walking, thinking.
Prices just went up.
Sanctuary. I choose my lover, partner, and friends wisely. I'm a vessel for spiritual enlightenment, not spiritual entertainment. I can only allow occupancy for those that are meant for me. I welcome synchronicity, flexibility with what I desire. I give reverence to the sovereign plan for my life and humble my impulse to know I am full of the illustration of divinity expressed in living the gift of life.
We got to get started, just waiting for a few people to come into the room. I'll take my more motto, but I'm going to let y'all listen to Tony real quick.
Flows from creativity. Creativity is God, the nucleus of life. When I declare I am of a divine nature, I am declaring a devotion to being creative. I have so much fun being guided by the great I am. My life is expressing the divine plan. Most High expose any and all hidden disobedience and strongholds in my life. You are the light of my life. I'm sanctuary. I'm a physical animation of the spirit of creation. Creator, Most High. I'm seeing the gospel everywhere and all things and beings. I'm starstruck. I'm sanctuary.
I'm sanctuary.
Oh, yeah. I know I'm in this world,
But I'm not of this world. I'm sanctuary.
I know I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. I'm sanctuary. I don't talk the same.
I promise you.
I don't walk the same. I don't speak the same. We ain't the same. I don't woman the same.
I don't woman the same.
I don't laugh the same. I don't work the same. I don't play the same. I don't sound the same.
We ain't the same.
I know I'm in this world,
But I'm not of this world. I'm sanctuary. I know I am not of this world. What? I know I am from some other, have to be. The kind of love that resides in me could not possibly be from this plane. I know it's from somewhere else. Greetings, greetings, greetings in Islam, you beautiful people out here in this beautiful world. It's a whole lot going on when I got up. Allah got me up bright and early. Early. I promise I was up at 4. Up at 4, like what took place while we were sleeping? Is someone really gone? Because if so, baby, let me tell you something. The other person didn't even have to touch him, but the other person was coming for him, but didn't even have to touch him. If this is what it is, I got to give it to you, my bro. You strategize this thing very well. The prophet said things will happen that we will not be able to explain in words. So I'm coming on here today because, for the past, it's been 72 hours since I've been on here, I believe it is. For the past 72 hours, 48 of them hours, we was in the lab creating for the Holy Hair Butter line. We was creating for the Holy Hair Butter line. holy hair butter, as I like to call it. And so our newest, before we get into it, we're going to talk about some products. You know what I'm saying? So for our newest line, it's called the continuity line. So the continuity line is going to integrate a lot of purple sea moss into this line of products. So with this one, I have the ocean mint. So I have ocean mint by Holy Hair Butter. So I was I was playing with color yesterday, right? So I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's like an ocean minty color. It's so pretty. I was really wanting more amethysty, but it gave I wanted more. I was trying to pull this purple into this because you can't really extract the color from the sea moss like that, right? Just the nutrients. You can't really you can grab the color, but not really. It's gonna come out, but not really. It might be a little brownish. So you gotta add and take away. So thank goodness I'm a hair chemistress, a hairstylist licensed 32 years. Love color, so I've always played with color, you know. So as I'm playing, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna. Then when I said, ooh, I like it. It's like a mint green. So this is our ocean mint, holy hair butter infused with purple sea moss and many other great herbs, hibiscus, rosemary, elderberry, a lot of great things to go into the hair. And the butters, all of my butters are light. I don't use shea butter because I think shea butter is cloggy. It clogs the pores. It sits on top of the hair. So my butter is actually just like butter. It's buttery, baby. It's buttery, baby. So we already have a couple of our crown jewels. Our first one, let me show you this. Oh no, that's not that one, is it? Yes, and this is the Ocean Mint shampoo bar. I know it's hard to see the color in here. It's not the easiest. I'm gonna open those curtains and maybe you can see it a little better. I'm not sure. Uh-oh, don't step on those. Break them. Most people sleep this time. But when Allah say, get up, girl, you got something to do today. You got to talk to your people. I'm snatching cords out the wall. You got to talk to your people, so you got to get up. But anyway, maybe, I don't know. No, you really still can't see it. We would need some light, but it's such a pretty color. Like to see the speckles of the sea moss, not only in the bar, but also in the hair butter. And it's not gritty. So you're not going to get gritty grit in it because of the way I prepare it and put it in there. It's not going to be anything gritty in there. So, our holy hair butter, our obsidian beard. We have our obsidian beard for our brothers when their ingrown hairs are coming in or they need extra moisture. It's made with some amazing stuff, microbial, like with the neem oil and all that that's in here. It's going to help the brothers because most of our brothers break out as soon as they start because they're really not supposed to take the razor to their face anyway. But in our essence, because they get ingrown hairs, even when they're getting lineups, things like that, this obsidian beard butter will be your best friend. So we got the obsidian beard butter. We got the holy hair butter. Holy hair butters. Oh my goodness, this one smells so good. So you see the consistency literally is the way it looks in this jar. It's literally that buttery and that it's lightweight. It's not gonna weigh your hair down. I put it in my locks. Like people be like, oh, they say don't put this in your locks. Man, I have to have moisture. I have dry hair as it is. I have real hair. My hair is about as real as it get, and it go back to about as old as it'll go. But it needs some moisture. So when they try to scream that, that's why my hair was like going so bad because as a hairstylist, I'm like, okay, these new age folks, what they mean no oil? Like I've never heard of that. But let me see how they get along without no oil. Let me see what my hair was like, girl. If you don't hurry up and find me something. So that's the benefit of being a hairstylist. So holy hair butter line, holy hair butter. Oh wait, I guess y'all need to see it that way so you can see it. Holy hair butter. And I actually have a stamp. So I know once I got my stamp, I said, oh, it's official. I dare a person try to take my thing, take my name. It's already marked anyway. So it don't matter. But you know how some people be. They just try so hard to do something similar. But look at my stamp, y'all. My stamp. I got my stamp. My whole and this is gold plated. It says Holy Habata. The Holy Habata. The Holy Habata. The Holy Habata. We're here to serve you. Literally. I I give great energy over my products. Whether I'm smudging them, I'm speaking affirmations over them. I'm just not sending out anything because I never did that as a hairstylist when people sat in my chair. When they were going through something, my hands were always speaking from a spiritual plane to help invoke great energy into their heads. Because number one, I'm dealing with the aura. I'm so close to their aura by being on their head. It's crazy, right? So yeah, so Holy Habata. That's why we named it Holy Habata. We named it the Holy Habata line. So yes, Holy Hair Butter. Ocean Mint is our newest one. This is our first butter. As you can see, it's butter baby. It's butter baby. So all of them are for hair growth. A little. You can get some aromatherapy out of them too. Excuse me. You get some aromatherapy out of them because they are infused with a lot of great herbs. So that aromatherapy will help you if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, any of those things. I put them in the hair products. I put them in the hair products so that when you're putting it on your hair, that you can get that same, you can keep that energy with you. You know what I'm saying? Keep your energy with you so that whew, so you can keep, and you when you get up and you wash your hair, it's just something about it. It feels good. So that's why I do it. And that's why I have an apothecary so that I can help people that are dealing with these things. And we have apothecaries all over, but apothecaries are great because people that are really into what it takes to go on this healing journey understand how important herbs are, how important they are to the mind, body, and spirit. I promise you. You could be going through it and go outside in your garden and sniff some lavender or rosemary, and you just be like, the calmness that comes over you, whether it's lemon balm, lemon verbane, like any of these herbs, you just sense a eucalyptus. What? Mint. Like these things they'll open you up and you'll just be like, wow, this is beautiful. It's beautiful. So y'all today, because I have seen some stuff and I seen some stuff over these past couple of days. So I wanted to get that out the way on the products. I want to also tell y'all about this. This right here. This is serious. Hi, my love. This right here is some serious stuff, y'all. More mito. I take this. I can send you the link to it. But when I tell you day 3, I feel like a new person. Now, I've been taking it for about a month now. Pretty nice size bottle. So you got the Restore. You even have some Rejuvenate. So this goes on your skin. It'll take away skin tags. Man, if you are hurting, you can use it in your mouth if you got a toothache. When I tell you, the brother, and you see it say Mo. So I'm always about some more stuff. So more mito. And it is a brother is he is the CEO. He has a business partner, of course. Amazing, but's been in the healing industry for years. I love you. Thank you so much for my roses. Been in the healing industry for years. More mito. I got to tell y'all, I put this on. I had a skin tag right here. I've been putting on there. The mug almost gone. My knee was hurting. My scalp was it was a little irritated. I used it on there. Very dope. So all of these amazing ingredients. It don't have a lot in it. I'm telling, and what's in it is so good for you. It's like crazy. So you're like tea tree leaf oil. You got aloe arborescens leaf extract. I mean, it just got some amazing stuff in here. I would say, reach out to me so I could send you the link. This right here, this restore. So y'all, from knees, back hurting, trying to pick things up, going up and down the stairs, challenging, right? Because I'm getting older. So I ain't that cheerleader from high school that could do all this. But baby, this restore. I'm telling you, after day 3, I was able to run up and down my steps like nobody's business. So what more mito does is more mito, we lose what is called mitochondria, which comes out of us, which comes from your mommy, the Asiatic woman, you don't say. It comes out of us, but we lose mitochondria over the years. We lose it. It like starts to just dissipate, like it's not there. So that's when our body starts doing what it does. Well, this replaces this. It puts it back in there. When they do make this, it's like sits and fermentates. Well, binds itself together so that everything can come together for, I want to say he said 36 weeks. That's serious. So for it to do what it did within 3 days was amazing to me. I was like, what? I mean, people are on there from, it's helped them with their blood pressure, their diabetes, their fatigue, their insomnia, like so many things. It's just helped balance back up. Brain fog, like it's good for it all. So more mito is the business, y'all. So I take the restore, I take the restore, I take also their vitamins. They have a vitamin that you take too. So I take the vitamin, I use this on my skin, and they even got some for your pets. So my son has a cat and I have a little pug. But when I tell you, wow, amazing. From their coats to their energy, everything. So more mito covers everything. Everything from the human to your pet, to your best friend. It covers it. So my more mito is serious. So I have access to that. I would say I am what do? I just refer you. You could become a customer or you could become someone that refers other people. But in that essence, you're able to make not only Mito Cash, which can purchase your stuff. So you're going to need this. You're not going to want to stop taking it. People come on the call and be like, I stopped taking it because I was feeling so good. Then I stopped. And then I just felt like, man, this ain't cool. So he was like, it's a vitamin you need because you got to put these nutrients in your body daily. You got to stop just thinking, oh, I can do it for like 20 days and now I'm good. So let me stop. No, it's consistency. Consistency is the key. It's just like your everyday life. Everything has to be, because you got to be consistent with it all. You can't be inconsistent. That's being inconstant. So we have to stop being so inconstant with ourselves, our health, our minds. We have to stop being inconstant about it. We got to be more consistent. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for the love and the hearts. I appreciate your time today. So I want to rise giving honors to all the divine prophets for all the wonderful works that they have brought unto us. All right. So today I have a presentation. Well, I'll say demonstration. And I want to bring this demonstration on the etymology of religion, because all I'm seeing is people go against each other. There's a channel I watch on YouTube. I love it. The Righteous Perspective. Love him. Love everything he brings. Really dope guy. But sometimes when people get on there and it's just you're trying to make one religion sound like they're better than the next, when all religions are jacked up. I don't care what you calling yourself this day. We can find the most evil stuff in every religion that's taking place today. We can. I don't care where you come from, who you are, what side of the coin you go to, how you wrap your head, how you don't wrap your head, whatever. God is love. And he told us we must be that. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna know that, then be that. You claim you know you love. You claim you know to love someone. But are you being that love you claim you know? Because a lot of times you ain't. It's a facade and you faking. It's a facade and you faking. So I watch these young ladies and I watch them sit here and just what is bothering me because I'm a Muslim. And me, for us over here, Islam don't mean what the world is trying to make it seem. Like, what if we was constantly saying, well, see, and most people don't realize the Asiatics of America, the Muslims of America, got tricked into becoming this religion that wasn't who we were. Because I could tell you it wasn't about that. And I'm going to prove it to you that it wasn't. This is what man made it to be. And this is what has caused us to become so separated. And that's why I keep telling people, I don't care what side of the coin you on. It's going to be mighty funny when Allah show up and that day come and he say, oh, yeah, but didn't you say something against the Christian? Didn't you say something against the Jew? Didn't you say something against the Muslim? All y'all hypocrites. Because he who is without sin throw the first stone. Y'all ain't you read the Bible? Have you watched the book of Clarence? When they were trying to get Jezebel, he's like, hold up. Jesus said, hold up. Before you throw any rocks at a glass house, hold up, shawty. Let's find out if you are flawless. So before anyone speaks on any religion, if you ain't never studied it, if you ain't never been in it, you shouldn't even be talking about folks. Because the rituals that go on in the churches is serious. Cannibalism on all levels. So I don't know what y'all be talking about where everyone does something that you can point out and say that ain't right. The way all of these religions treat their women. I don't care how many wives they got. They ain't treating them right. Because they ain't even treating themselves right. These brothers barely treat themselves right. So how they going to treat a woman right? And how are they going to treat multiple women right and put up with multiple energies? Because we are chaos and the chaos and the nurturing in us. So we can love, but we're chaotic too. So you putting up with all them. You barely want to listen to what your mama say. So how you going to put up with 6 wives with 6 different personalities? And you can't even abide by what your mom instructs of you, or grandma, or great grandma. So nowhere do I see that any religion across the board, period. I ain't never seen them be down for no woman. Where? Show me. Committed, faithful. None of them. The Nigerians come over here and marry our women and have a wife over there with children. And the woman over here don't know because he just trying to come over here and get some citizenship so he can get some doggone money to send back home. Let's talk about it. None of these places out here respect women. And it's not against our brothers, but it's the fact we got to do better. It ain't about choosing better. It's about doing better as a collective of people. So I want to talk about this religion thing because what bothered me the most, I'm a fan of this channel, but you shouldn't be bashing making everyone that claims Islam to seem to be Islamic and violent. That's not true. Like I said, because nobody would say, but then y'all eat bodies and drink the stuff that comes out of the body. And then feelings would be hurt. And if they talked about the other folks that said, but you put your mouth on the babies. Oh, everybody's offended. If we gonna call it out, let's call out everybody then. If we gonna call it out. Because me being a Muslim woman, I love Islam because of what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought that it meant to us. Now, I don't know about nobody else, but I'm talking about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali that was right here in North America, born in 1886 in North Carolina, on an Indian reservation in North Carolina, if that's what we're going to call it, reserved for us. Thank you, Dr. Kia Brew. And Sheik Bay. I'm sorry, that came from Sheik Bay too. So, I don't like the fact that you're because my mom, I grew up 7-day Adventist, true devoted Christian. You hear me? But I also just learned that my mom and them had to hide who they were because they stuck to their principles and morals of the past that really was more like Islam and more like Jewish doctrine. They had to hide that fact and act like they ate pork and did these things to act like. So they adopted that Christianity part of that. But my family, when I look back, they lived what the prophet talks about is Islam. Islam? What is Islam? He gives us an answer for everything. He gives us an answer for everything. What is Islam? Come on, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam is this comes out of our literature, y'all. This comes out of the literature. The literature. The literature comes out of the literature. So I'm not just speaking out from the side of my neck or nothing. Just know that. What is Islam? Islam is a very simple faith. Faith. That's surety. Belief is one thing. And most people are just believing in their religion. They ain't even got faith in it at all. They just believing in it. But Islam is a very simple faith. And it requires man to recognize his duties toward God, Allah, his creator and fellow creatures. So I'm about to check all y'all on what Islam really is. So if you're going to talk about somebody and feel you're going to try to demonize Islam because there's people out here in Islam demonizing Islam, you won't do it this way. Because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't bring that to us. He told us we needed to learn how to love instead of hate. So to all you religions that want to talk about the Muslims of North America that practice the faith of Islam before any of y'all got here, any of y'all that practice the faith of love, not believing in it, not believing in something spooky. My ancestors, their gods were everything around them. Nature, the sun, the moon, the stars, all of that. They paid attention to it all. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. Islam only means peace. So whatever the news got you thinking it means, whatever these people in the world got you thinking it means, why don't you come over here and learn about some Islam from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, though? The goal of a man's life, according to Islam, is peace with everything. And I do mean everything. Peace with Allah and peace with man. We got to have peace with each other. This is why I'm telling people now, it's going to be mighty funny. Judgment Day come and he be like, yep, you was talking about that. And all y'all hypocrites, and I'm cool. Poof, be gone with your liquid warm behind. You thought you was the righteous one. You thought you was the right one. Well, how about all y'all wrong? And it was a test for all y'all to really see what kind of heart you had. Because everything's going to be weighed. The heart is going to be weighed against the feather. Is your heart as light as a feather? And baby, your dress up ain't going to be able to tell that one. The truth is going to come out of that one. Because your dress up, from the hairstyle to the nails to the clothes, none of that's going to matter that day, baby. I promise you that. That would be a thing of the past. So we got to have peace with Allah and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace. where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. See what I mean? We got to stop talking about each other. We got to stop downing each other. Because if we're going to go to this house of peace, all that chit chatter, talking about each other, stabbing each other in the back is not invited there. So to everybody that thinks they're holier than thou and they got the right answer and they on the right side of the coin, please understand there'll be no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. I ain't heard this come from no religion background but Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The Holy Divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali says that a follower of Islam in the true sense of the word is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. They ain't telling y'all that on no news. These people got their own narratives on these YouTube channels and everything so that they could keep people. But you see what it just says? If we lived in the true sense of the word of Islam, that is one whose hands, tongues, and thoughts do not hurt others. So not even through your thoughts, because see, that's where the sin lies. People don't realize it. The sin does not lie in the act. The sin lies in the wish and the desire. It's already resided in your thought. So for all the people out here speaking against others, in your thoughts, you're probably speaking way more evil things. And that's what Allah is checking. That's what God gonna check. That's how your heart's gonna be. Is it lighter than a feather? Because that's where it's gonna check. It's gonna check the weight right there. That's where the weight's gonna get checked. The objects of man's life, according to Islam, is its complete unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. All these other religious backgrounds say man was born in sin. Huh? But this Islam that was taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we don't. That's not true. How so be it? How you judging somebody before they even get a chance to be here? See, that's why I say you can't throw no rocks at no glass house, baby. Because you trying to hide your sin, so you want others to think they were born into sin because you trying to hide your sin. You trying to hide the trickery, baby. Islam, right? Right, brother? So in Islam, it teaches that everyone has within him or her the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely with himself to make or mar his fortune. You make or mar your fortune. Nobody did that but you. See, the prophet makes you have accountability. You can't have a scapegoat and be talking about Jesus with the blonde hair and blue eyes did it. Or the man in the red suit with the pitchfork and the horns did it. No, you did it. You did it. You can't blame it on nobody else over here. That's why we don't believe man was born in sin, because you're going to create your own. You doing your own. That's your lower energy traveling up and down your spine, up and down to the earth to see who it may devour in your mind. That's what that's about. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father, Allah. We believe in one God, Allah, who is all God, all mercy, and all power. He is perfect and holy. But we also do know the Father Allah and the Mother Allah. See, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the prophet taught us about the higher self and the lower self. And the higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. The lower self is everything that harms, hurts, slander, lewdness, unaliving, everything that hurts. Because that's Satan, Lucifer, devil, dragon, and beast. But Lucifer also is a beautiful morning star. It's us. It's Venus. We don't want to talk about that, though. Most people don't want to talk about that, though. But it's the truth. The father and the mother exist over here. We don't know nothing about no spooky ghost story about a woman being a ghost and not existing. Because the woman had to be there first for anyone to get here. How else you got here? I ain't seen nobody else have none. Even though they giving out wounds to people that they gonna be messed up. Them babies, boy. Well, I don't know what that world gonna be, but we're gonna be here. We'll be on our own side. So he is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. These are some of his great attributes so far as we can understand. He is free from all defects, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us. But he is nevertheless impersonal. He is not impersonal because he is infinite, perfect, and holy. We do not believe that unalive, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither do we believe that he is a helpless, inactive, and inert force. Nothing. So even the way they try to paint our brothers as being fathers, we understand our father ain't none of that. So when you let them come in and they came in and took our minds, we let them tell us that about our brothers that are really here to be fathers. We let them tell us that because this is everything they told us that they was. Oh, they imperfect. They ain't holy. They gonna be decayed. They live in sin. They was born in sin. Y'all was born in sin. You're inactive. You're an inert force. You ain't got no knowledge. Your willpower is horrible. But right here, we say because he is infinite, perfect, and holy, we do not believe that unalived, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither do we believe that he is a helpless, inactive, and inert force. Nothing happens without his knowledge and will. Nothing happens without daddy's knowledge and will. Nothing. Nothing. Right? He neither begets nor is he begotten, because these are the traits of frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. Every other belief hangs upon it. This is why you got the star and crescent. Every other belief hangs upon it. Because Islam is the reason for the season, baby. And that's by the noble prophet, Drew Ali. Telling you the 1920s. That's all I'm going to say. We in 2026. He's been gone, what, 140 years? He said it'll be 50 years before you know it. I left you. It'll be another 50 years before you learn it. Man, he on point, I promise you. Man, he on point. Islam. Islam, Islam. I promise you he is. So I'm going to get into this demonstration today. I'm going to read a little bit of our Constitution because let me tell you something. If we don't set the house straight, this is what goes on. And if you watch Congress, if you ever watch them come to the floor, they're going to always open their meetings promptly according to the Circle 7. And love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They open their meetings in a certain way. You hear them use the same language you'll hear in here. You have a chairman. You have, man, I'm trying to tell you. Listen to what they do when they on that flow. Tell me you don't hear language. This land gauge, as we like to call it. Shout out to Akhenaten, my teacher. So, Islam, I want to first rise. Excuse me. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand or you can sit in silent benediction as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We turn to the east as going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, or 2 on the right and 5 on the left with our heels touching one another. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, Islam. I would like to first rise giving the highest praises to the Father God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I would like to rise giving my highest praises to the mother Allah, the mother of the virtues, the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Because you can't have one without the other. I would like to rise giving high holy honors to our illustrious and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who brought us this message of love. Rise and giving honors to his complementary, Sister Pearl Drew Ali, who stood strong. She stayed in the temple until she passed in the 80s. This man was in the 20s and they weren't even married anymore, but still, she stood on that faith. That's where I get my strength from. That's where I get my strength from. Mama Pearl Drew Ali stood that thing. Like a lot of the other brothers complementaries. It was the women that was holding it together. So we got to give honors to those women. But if it wasn't for Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the women wouldn't even known who they were. It wouldn't have known anything about this love made manifest, right? So we give honors to our sisters so much, giving honors to all the prophets, all the divine prophets for all the wonderful works they have brought into us. I ask you that you bind our hearts and minds together as you did in ancient times, as thou did in ancient times. Bind us together because we forgetting who we are completely. Islam. Giving honors to each and every one of you out there in social media world. Islam. So I want to say this. Our first principle is love. I don't know. I'm indigenous to America. I ain't never been from here. My whole family, no matter how far back you go, was right here in North America. Amexa or Mordecai, Tamari, Turtle Island, whatever, they was already here. But also traveling back into their customs and culture, they lived off of principles that wasn't necessarily a religion. It was their nature. It was naturally who they were to live Islam. Man came, and I'm gonna tell you when man came in a minute. Man decided to come and put his mark on these religious practices and decided he wanted to be head honcho in charge. So we're going to talk about that today because I am a Muslim woman that was born and bred it. You heard me say the higher self, the mother of the virtues, the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. I was just bred justice, mercy, love, and right here on this land, along with my whole bloodline, mama and daddy. North America, South America, Central America, all the Americas. So I'm not one yelling that to America. So don't put that on every Muslim. Because this Muslim's not. America's my home. I stand up for America. That's why y'all hear me talk about Donald Trump. Because I understand the difference. Because you're being misled and you don't want to do the real homework. That's the difference. You got to see the way things have been orchestrated to take over our stuff. And now that we want to speak up, now that we got something to say, everybody's offended because we want our stuff back, like everybody else getting their stuff back. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give honors to all of us. We must bind our hearts and minds back together as thou did in ancient times. So we talked about what is Islam. And we're going to go through these divine constitution and bylaws because the constitution and bylaws are important. We have to know how to run a government. We have to know how to be a nation. You got to know the instructions of it. Ain't nobody going to be here to help you. Ain't nobody going to be here to tell y'all what to do no more. You're going to have to take it upon yourself to make your life what it needs to be. Massa ain't going to be here no more. Now you gotta grow up. You gotta leave the nest. Sometimes I think our people just love being in the nest. You gotta leave the nest. You don't even see nature hold on to no children like that. Y'all expect for the government is your daddy, but you expect that to go on for the rest of your life. To never stand on your own, to never figure out how to make it for yourself. This is why millionaires and billionaires are who they are. They figured out how to make it for themselves. Everybody didn't get a handout. Because, like John Hope Bryant, I just heard him say the other day and watched him say, most billionaires and millionaires don't live in these big old houses y'all keep thinking they live in. They live in an average house. They drive an average car. If you go back before old goofball Bill Gates started doing what he did, Bill Gates used to drive a Toyota Camry, if I'm not mistaken. It's either him or the dude from Gateway. Anyway, didn't buy no new car, was just living. Because you understand, like, all that's not even important. Why am I going out there to do all that? If you have so much money, it's not much more you can buy with it. You go 9 times out of 10 start giving it away unless you're just greedy. Or unless you're trying to overtake some things like them folks did and take you out. That would be the only reason. But you got to have a constitution. You should have a constitution with you and your family. When your trust is set up, there should be a constitution there to say, this ain't what's happening. This is what's happening, and we sticking to the law. Because you can't waver from it. When you put that constitution in place, you can't come off of it. They might have ratified it, redacted it, and did all these things. But the original is still going to be what it is, y'all. And the original still came from our people. So salvation, Allah, and unity. That's at the top. Salvation. Salvation, Allah. Allah. One. First eye. Unity, the hand press. I had to tell my sons, pay attention to Donald Trump. Some people, he'll shake their hand. Others, he'll give them a hand press. He's shaking their hand because he know they full of crap. When you do that hand press, it's serious business. Y'all have to know the difference. It's not a secret. It's what it is. They do it in your face. You're just unaware. They practice the science in your face because they know this science. This is what has gotten them through life. All more science, no matter where it came from. It's all over the world. We ruled the world. Stop putting yourself in a box just wanting to rule a street or a neighborhood or a color or a block. The world, Craig. The world, Craig. Type flight of the world, Craig. Come on, Craig. We got action. Top flight, Craig, of the world. Y'all don't understand you top flight of the world, Craig? The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh is the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. I don't know how they get in no kind of radicalness from up over here with no Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is not radical Islam, y'all. It's not. Act 4, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779. It's the difference between a slaveholder and a slave master. Well, a slaveholder is what it is, because they were holding you, kidnapped, holding. In 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why the great God Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Stop. Husband, husband, you must support your wife and children. But husband, your allegiance has to be to your creator first before your wife can listen to you, to obey you. Who you obey? Are you obeying any principles and morals? Even if you don't rock with any kind of God, if you don't rock with no God, your principles and morals, like, what is that for a woman to want to follow you or to listen to what you say if you can't even show up in that way in obedience, whether it's to your business, whether it's whatever. Like Banner say, what he say his mentor told him, I don't do business with people that cheat on their wife. Because if they cheat on their wife, they gonna cheat on me. They gonna cheat with me. They ain't gonna be right with me. If you can't even be faithful to the woman that you lay with every night, then we don't need to do business. And I don't blame them. And I don't blame them. Who wants to be bothered with that? You know what I'm saying? So I don't blame them. So you got to understand that starts with you too, brothers. Showing up in that way will make your wife, I'm not going to say make her, but literally she's more receptive to falling into that for you and being that. But if you come into a person's life, that's why we have to get to know each other better. See how they move with that. See how they are accountable for certain things. See if they're even in alignment to make sure that they're following a greater source that's making them greater. If you don't want to call it God, whatever you don't want to call it, I don't know. People are in their feelings right now, so I don't know what's going on. Allah, arm, leg, arm and head, the source, my daddy, my mama is always me. Yin, yang, Hollywood, you want, all of them, the higher source, the higher power, we could go there, right? So, in that, husbands, just show up like that, because then your wife will obey you and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. You won't have to ask. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali is the founder, the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. So much even in that of why it's in Chicago. Why did it leave Jersey? So much you can find to trace yourself back to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. People don't talk about Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Everybody hides this man from the world. People don't talk about what Drew Ali did. Not for real. They surface level it. And most people think it's coming from a sovereign, I want to take something over. No. Because even when I had to correct AI on it, like, that's not who we are. This is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali says. And then she corrects it and she says, oh, yeah, no, y'all are not a part. The Noble Drew Ali never brought that. Lessons is way deeper than what people make them. The lessons is way deeper. They be thinking it's a surface level read. Let me surface level this thing. Islam. So, additional laws for Moorish Americans. Act 1, the Grand Sheikh is the governing head of our temple. All business of said temple must be approved by the Prophet, that's spirit, Noble Drew Ali, before being acted upon by any member. Because the Prophet left specific instructions when he left the body that no other doggone temple should be going down. And that's why the reincarnated prophet was teaching through the mail and teaching in his home, because it was a disrespect to the prophet. So that's why it says right there in Act 1. So when we're looking across, like I said, you can look at every religion and see that they ain't living up to their so-called doctrine, not even biblically. They want to find one of the sins that they can say, oh, I live by that. But all the rest of them, they skip. But anyway, okay. Like I said, we all got it in here. So even right there, that's powerful. So let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause a member to sacrifice finance. So you ain't supposed to be doing anything for someone to sacrifice any finance. This is why. Because most people are, because they're greedy. Any former officers that will cause the support of any group of members, any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the Grand Sheikh. So see, ain't no greediness. You can't be greedy. So all these folks running the temples, taking people's money, because I've been a victim of one of them, taking people's money, not doing nothing with it, not properly doing nothing with it. So you didn't even go before the spirit. This is where you know people are pushing on a belief system, and it ain't no faith in it. Because if it wasn't approved by Prophet Noble Drew Ali before being acted upon by any member, even as a hairstylist, even me having my own business, before I even started Holy Hair Butter, I went to the spirit realm to see how what I was doing, how it can help the nation. That's how I got my permission. But it wasn't off the back and sweats of another person or no congregation or no people. It was off the back and sweats of myself. Sitting there with myself, understanding how talented I am, and taking the time to say, hey, I know how creative I am. I've been doing hair too long. I'm creative. Let's get to these products, because I made products before. So I said, this is the way I can help my nation. You know what I'm saying? This is where I want to be a part of my nation when they need this, when they need healing to the head and they need healing in their bodies. You know what I'm saying? That we have the proper etiquette for it. We have the proper things for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. Building your nation up. Not trying to see where you can get some money because you got a building and you got some people sitting in some seats to fill your pockets. What about the sacrifices these people make? What about that? When my mom got her thing back from her church, I just be going, these people go up out of here and they've left so much to their congregation. They've left so much more to that congregation than that congregation could ever give them back. So, like I said, anybody that violates these laws is subject to be removed. But nobody's being removed because nobody's holding nobody accountable. It's like a untamed home. Just people running all over the place. Children just messing up just all over, right? So Act 2, all members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second case will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. See, an emergency fund is supposed to be set up for you. So if you're not making it to the meeting, if you're just chilling at home on the meeting, then what you putting into that emergency fund is yours. So if something happens, things go south, at least you got an emergency fund over there. Act 3. Oh, 50 cents on the first case. On the second case will be $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it does take finance to uplift the nation. It takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 4 alone busts these people in their heads. Act 4 alone tell you the Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't about none of that violence they keep trying to make it seem like people of the Islam faith is. And I didn't put Mick on the end of it. Islam is a faith. But the Prophet didn't teach us none of that. The Prophet told us we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I don't hear that saying nothing about taking nobody out. So I'm going to need y'all to correct that when it comes to us Moors in America. I'm going to need all y'all to correct that. Especially this one, especially me. I don't know about nobody else if that's the way they live it. And that's the way they feel it. But that ain't the way I'm living, and that ain't the way I'm feeling, because it's my country. Straight up it is. I'm proud of it and ain't going to deter away from it. And ain't about to let nobody take it back from my people that I already took it before. I would be crazy to sit back and let that happen again by trying to disclaim what I'm not and knowing that this was that too. If we're an empire and this is the empire, and with Morocco the kingdom, because this is Morocco, are you kidding me right now? What was we practicing then? Because they still practice it today. They still kept the tradition and the morals and the principles today. So then what was we practicing? More means love. More means love. That's what it means. Go do the etymology of it. You could go back to, if you want to take it back, take it to Stevie Wonder. My Shadi Amor. More simply means love. So you ain't love made manifest? Love is the first principle. More means love. More love. Love yourself more. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school. And the teacher must confirm himself or herself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so. Because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. 5 senses don't just mean your 5 senses. Now, mind you, because you'll think it's taste. See, yeah, that too. But I always go back to say, even though we might in 1865, the chains might have came off these, but it definitely went there. So physically, economically, socially, religiously, politically, 5 senses. Those 5 senses. Can you use those 5 senses who is able to do so? Because out from that Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Not using your smell, your taste, your sight, your hearing. Not you use those too, definitely. But you also have to integrate those other five senses into there to make sure you can really stand on your senses, stand on that, and say that that's what that is, right? So now, for the meat and potatoes of this thing. So I wanted to bring the receipt on the etymology of religion after watching these people act the way they've been acting. And watching people come against each other and speak against each other and say who this ain't and you ain't this and they ain't that. How can you say that? We God's children. How can you say that? And we God's children. So, the etymology of religion. This is another part of my Great Deception series. The word religion comes from the Latin religare, meaning to bind back or to tie. It was a legalistic term used to bind subjects to a particular cult or state. Before this, the indigenous Moors lived by natural law. So the prophet definitely has a chapter on religion. What does this chapter on religion speak of? Let's go to religion. Islam. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 35. 3 and 5 makes it 8. As above, so below. It's a tie back. He's intentional about the numbers on these doggone chapters. He's intentional about the way he places these instructions, what numbers they sit at. He's just intentional. He was very intentional. So chapter 35, like I said, which is an 8, which is as above, so below. So the word religion comes from the Latin relegare, meaning to bind back or to tie. As above, so below. Look at that infinity sign. Look like it's tying, look like it's binding. Holy instructions from the prophet religion. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, incomprehensible. Incomprehensible. The Son is not Allah. The Son is not Allah. Though his noblest image, though his and her noblest image. He enlightened the world with his brightness. His warmth gives life to the products of the earth. The sun needs it. The ground loves it. If you learn about sweet potatoes, they say, oh, they love when the sun is hitting the ground and it warms up the earth. They love the feeling of that. Interesting. Bind back. His warmth giveth life to the products of the earth. Admire him as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise, and beneficent, and to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. Who has stretched forth the heavens with his hands, who has described with his fingers the courses of the stars, who setteth bounds to the ocean, that it cannot pass, and saith unto the stormy winds, be still. Who shaketh the earth, and the nations tremble, who dareth his lightnings, and the wicked are dismayed, who calleth forth worlds by the words of his mouth. By the words of his mouth. Let's see. My apologies, people. By the words of his mouth. Okay? Who smiteth with his arm, and they sink into nothing. Oh, reverence the majesty of the omnipotent, and tempt not his anger, lest thou be destroyed. That's why I say we be tempting our life with this. You ain't right, they ain't right. You are okay. The providence of Allah is ever all his works. He ruleth and directeth with infinite wisdom. Meaning he know what he doing. He hath instituted laws for the government of the world. He instituted these laws. He hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature conformeth to his will. So depending on what your nature is, you're going to conform to that will. I don't care what color you are. Depending on your nature. In the depth of his mind, he revolveth all knowledge. The secrets of fortuity lie open before him. The thoughts of thy heart are naked to his view. He knoweth thy determination before they are made. With respect to his presence, there is nothing contingent. With respect to his providence, there is nothing accidental. Wonderful he is in all his ways. His counsels are inscrutable. The manner of his knowledge transcendeth thy conception. Pay therefore to his wisdom all honor and veneration, and bow down thyself in humble and submissive obedience to his supreme discretion. The Father is gracious and beneficent. He hath created the world in mercy and love. His creatures of his hand declare his goodness, and their enjoyment speak of his praise. He clothed them with beauty. He supported them with food. He preserved them with pleasure from generation to generation. If we lift up our eyes to the heavens, his glory shineth forth. If we cast them down on the earth, it is full of his goodness. You hear me? I told you this is an 8. This is an as above, so below chapter. And I just told you this is a chapter on religion. It's talking about binding back. So he's even showing you right there. If we lift our eyes up to the heavens, his glory shineth forth. If we cast them down to the earth, it is full of his goodness. The hills and the valleys rejoice and sing. Fields, rivers, and woods resound his praise. But thee he hath distinguished with peculiar favor and exalted thy station. He's talking about you and me above all creatures. He hath endued thee with reason to maintain thy dominion. He hath fitted thee with language, land gauge to improve thy society, and exalted thy mind with the powers of meditation to contemplate and adore his immutable perfections. And in the laws he hath ordained as the rule of life, so kindly hath he united thy duty to thy nature, that obedience to his precepts is happiness to thyself. Oh, praise his goodness with songs of thanksgiving, and meditate in silence on the wonders of his love. Let thy heart overflow with gratitude and acknowledgement. Let the language of thy lips speak praise and adoration. Let the actions of thy life show thy love to his law. Hold up. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was bringing this piece. Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought this piece from our brother Jesus of Nazareth. That's who he was. He was our brother Jesus of Nazareth returned with the heart of our Father God Allah, and the heart and energy and wherewithal of our Mother Allah. That's how Prophet Noble Drew Ali came. Because in these instructions, he's taken all of the doctrine. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc., and combined it into this wisdom that we have in front of us. So there's no hate talked about in this one. The only hate talked about in this Circle 7 Holy Quran with a K is the hate you have within yourself. That's the only hate that's talked about in here, is what kind of hate you got for you. So that's the accountability most don't want to take. So they'll hide behind their religious practices to not take accountability for all the bull crap they cause in their own life. Allah is just and righteous and will judge the earth with equity and truth. So no matter what we think we saying, Allah's going to judge it with equity and truth. Forget about you and you thinking this person is that way and you thinking this person ain't this and you think you got the right answers. That's up to Allah. That ain't up to man. So good luck on that one. That's why things ain't going right the way you want them to go right now. Because it ain't up to man. This is Allah. Hath he established his laws in goodness and mercy? And shall he not punish the transgressor thereof? Oh, think not, bold men, because thy punishment is delayed, that the arm of Allah is weakened. Please stop thinking that. Neither flatter yourself with hopes that he winketh at your doings. And that's straight up. Stop thinking that you so holier than thou that God is winking at your doings when God ain't. He ain't impressed by that. He ain't impressed by what we doing. Especially if we're not doing it from our heart. We just doing it to be seen. There's a difference. But don't think for yourself. Don't flatter yourself with hopes that he's winking at your doings. Because he ain't winking at nothing we doing. He ain't flattered by that. So don't flatter yourself. His eye pierces the secrets of every heart. You hear that? His eye pierces the secret. Because it's about what's in the heart. Like I said, I could come Hajid, turban, fez. I can look like I could come like the Jews. I can look like all the religions if I wanted to. But Allah, his eye pierces the secrets of every heart. So the secrets in your heart that you swear don't nobody know, God know. How you really feel about your mama, how you really feel about your children, how you really feel about your neighbor, how you really feel about your coworker, how you really feel about your pastor, how you really feel about his first lady, like all of that. God pierces the secrets of your heart. So whatever secret you think you're trying to hide, my grandma used to tell me and my cousin Vicky all the time. If you think a lie, I'm going to know it when I get to heaven, because God is keeping a record in the book of life, the book of the Lamb. Is that what my grandma used to say? I think that's what she would say. I'm like, oh my, and I'd be like, oh, to think a lie, she going to know I lie. And just things my grandmother would do to push us there. Like my teeth come out when the moon is full. Like, I'm like, oh, she's for real. She got a real connection with God. Like, I just knew she did because we was always in church with my grandma. That's on my dad's side. Always in church. And I'm just like, she knows him. So when she would say that, that scared me because I'm like, oh, God, she said lie. And she going to know when she get there, he going to play it on the TV screen. I'm like, oh, my goodness. So his eye pierces the secrets of the heart. He remembereth them forever. He respected not the persons or the stations of men. I always say, Allah has no respect for person. I don't care how cute you is, how many times you go to church, six times a day, 7 times a day, how many times you pray. None of that. His eye pierces the heart. He care less about you trying to put on for the world. He care less. The homeless man under the bridge in Atlanta that can't get up and wash his butt or brush his teeth or do none of that got more faith in God than the average person getting up every day out of their pretty house, they warm house, with their clothes and their shoes. He got more loyalty to God. The high and the low, the rich and the poor, the wise and the ignorant, when the soul has shaken off the cumbrous shackles of this mortal life, shall equality receive from the sentence of just and everlasting retribution, according to their works. Then shall the wicked tremble and be afraid, but the heart of the righteous shall rejoice in his judgments. Islam. I'm rejoicing in his judgments. Because I'm not trying to take sides, trying to figure out what the popular side gonna be, and then when it go down, I'm gonna be on that side. Now I'm riding with God all the way. I don't care what nobody says. Oh, fear Allah, therefore, all the days of thy life, and walk in the paths which he hath opened before thee. Let prudence admonish thee, let temperance restrain, let justice guide thy hand, benevolence warm thy heart, and gratitude to heaven inspire thee with devotion. These shall give thee happiness in the present state and bring thee to the mansions of eternal felicity in the paradise of Allah. This is the true economy of human life. And people say, I don't want to be no human. Okay, well, whatever you don't want to be. When this was written, it's written for those times. So whatever the new definition of human is, okay. The definition that Prophet Noble Drew Ali gives us of human is Hueman. The HU, they took the E out. I told y'all they shift these doggone vowels. They switch it up. AEIOU got the same sound. Sometimes Y, right? Sometimes Y, and sometimes some other letters too. But please understand, there is a difference between an HUEMAN and an HUMAN. One is mankind, some kind of a man. Don't know what kind of a man, but the heart will tell it. The spirit will tell it. What kind of man that is? Is that a man? Okay, so we live by natural law. I had to go into religion because I had to show you how it binds you back. I showed you not only the receipt on it being chapter 35, which is an 8, which is an as above, so below, but I also went through to show you to tie back. Whether you hold your head up, whether you hold it down, the goodness is down, the heaven is up. However you want to look at it, it's everywhere. But it's how you perceive it. The mutilated image, okay? So I want you guys to go look at the Stele of Egypt. And I should have had it on the screen, but I didn't. Okay, but I'll tell you what to go look up. Look at what this looks like. The Stele of Egypt and the monuments of the Palmyra. Go look up the Palmyra. That's Palmyra. The knocked off noses. Because this is where you're going to start seeing it, right? In all of these things. So the knocked off noses weren't just vandalism. They were a ritualistic unaliving of the Ka spirit. In ancient thought, the breath, the holy breath, Allah, is the higher self. What is the higher self? It's the holy breath. The holy breath. Come on, man. Why they knocking noses off? To take that Ka away, to take that holy breath so you can't inhale the spirit. This is why they was knocking the noses off of our people. So it wasn't just vandalism. It was a ritualistic unaliving of the Ka spirit. In ancient thought, the breath entered through the nose. When we're breathing in, by removing it, the usurpers unalive the ancestral spirit while keeping the stone as a trophy. Knocked off the noses, kept the stone as a trophy to be like, yep, y'all can't breathe anyway. I can't breathe. That's all I'm going to say. I can't breathe. You know what? Everything's intentional. We've been getting signs and symbols all the time. He said we knew by signs and symbols before anything. Signs and symbols is what we knew. You breathed in and breathed out. When you meditate, breathe in through your nose, let out through the mouth. Bring in the spirit. Let out that negative crap you was trying to hold in, because the spirit can't occupy, light and darkness can't occupy the same space. One has to leave. That's even through breathing you learn that. That's even through your breath work you learn that. So that took the ancestral spirit while keeping the stone as a trophy. This copper-colored truth. The scientific receipt is melanin. Carbon is the basis of all life. When it is activated by the sun, the gold, it manifests as the copper-colored indigenous people, mentioned in the 1828 American Dictionary. The native description. 2, ball. Ball. So we've been seeing this ball thing go on all over. You know, they're burning it and and get rid of the evil and burning up ball and ball this and ball that, right? There's something behind that. Ball. the elemental frequency, the receipt, the physics of the golden bull. The bull of Wall Street is not a tribute to a deity. It's an alchemical magnet. So peep this, because we're going to get into this, right? So, as I may end up going back over it again, I am a fire sign, Sagittarius fire sign, right? As a fire sign, fire brings life. Fire is what brings life. I'm going to show you how the Father Allah, this is how he brought life. Fire brings life. So this golden bull on Wall Street represents an internal gold being trapped in a fence. What are 3 things you did this week that gave your energy to a system that doesn't love you? Because I just told you what the frequency of this golden bull is. That sits in New York and it sits on Wall Street. It's not a tribute to a deity. It's an alchemical magnet. It's an alchemical magnet. Okay. 3. So that alchemical magnet of Baal, right? Of Baal. Hold on. I'm trying to get to this part where I wanted to go into that a little bit deeper, but it's all right. Because we're going to talk about these metals and their sovereignty in 1 second. We're going to talk about these metals and their sovereignty. So the cycle of the reset. So this receipt is the arch of the Palmyra. Palmyra, one of them, right? So the ark of the Shaman Bell, which is Baal, was destroyed in Syria and then reconstructed via 3D printing in London and New York. This is not preservation. It is a transfer of jurisdiction. It's a transfer of jurisdiction. I kind of want to go through these metals to kind of give you some insight on these metals, right? Before I continue to go down from this transfer of jurisdiction, which when you're looking at these things, they were resurrected, like they reconstructed them, 3D printing to give you this image. And this happened like in 2016, 2018, these recent times. So the 7 biological metals and their sovereignty. Gold. The biological function of gold is brain nerve transmission. The spiritual planetary aspect is the sun, which is the spirit. The restoration truth. The high self that cannot be taxed. I just told you the higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. That's that holy breath. Silver, its biological function, fluid, balance, hormones. Spiritual planetary aspect is the moon, which is the soul. Your intuition and the Empress energy, that's the restoration truth. Because that's a feminine, the moon is feminine energy, so it's telling you. Our intuitions, because that's where it comes from. Our intuition is based off the moon, that phase, that energy of the moon, and the Empress energy. Copper, melanin production. That's Venus. That's us. That's the mama. That's melanin. That's why I said mitochondria. We can put it back in you. The conductor of atmospheric electricity. That's Venus. That's mama. Iron. Iron is the hemoglobin or the blood. Its spiritual planetary aspect is Mars. Mars is always about action. Mars is always about action. You got to be about action when Mars is in action. The iron will defend your temple. The iron will defend your temple. If you're deficient and you need more iron, that's what helps defend your temple. So Mars is about action, but that's iron. 10. Biological function. Protein synthesis. Spiritual planetary aspect is Jupiter. That's growth. Expect the restoration truth, expansion of the mind, philosophy. Do you see how everything's coming to light? Everything's falling into just amazingness. It's falling into physical. Mercury, nerve coating trace is the biological function. Spiritual planetary aspect, Mercury is the mind. The restoration truth, the speed of thought and communication, Islam. The metal lead, that's bone structure and trace, right? The planetary aspect, spiritual planetary aspect is Saturn, foundation, sitting on that foundation. The truth, the restoration truth, the carbon anchor of the physical world. That's what that's about. So, when I talked about those copper people, copper colored indigenous people, that's mentioned in the 1828 American Dictionary, there's a definition. So in 1828, Noah Webster's American Dictionary of the English Language provided a smoking gun for the indigenous Moorish identity. American, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. This is why birthright citizenship, like, no, that don't make you. Got to go back to who it belongs to, right? So they changed the definition so they could change the deed. If you identify as Black or African American, you are a brand owned by a corporation. If you identify as the copper-colored Moor, you are the Aboriginal under natural law. Natural law. You are not a minority in the land. You are the landlord. You're the landlord. So, like I said, this transfer of jurisdiction, because we got to look at this ball and it's being burnt up, but it's gold. And what is that? That gold is alchemical magnet. This is what this gold is representing, alchemical magnet. So the transfer of jurisdiction. This transfer of jurisdiction, baby, the Mott phase. So I want y'all to peep this. The Mott phase. In the ancient cycle, Mott is the god of sterility and drought. We are currently in a Mott economy. Everything is digital, fake, dry, no spirit, and rigid, unyielding laws. The scorched earth. To return to natural law, the religious programming must be burned. This is the refiner's fire. You are not being destroyed. Your illusions are being melted away so that the Zenobia energy, sovereign intelligence, can take the throne. I'm about to go into this Zenobia energy because Zenobia, this sister wasn't nothing to play with. Like I say, they make us look out to look a certain way because they're trying to hide from us who we are. Right? Right. What time is it? Oh, yeah, I got 30 minutes. Come on, Zenobia, where you at? Because I got to give you this Zenobia breakdown. It was really a trip. I was like, whoa. Because I had to ask, like, why every time y'all show these what am I trying to say? These statues, it always seems like they're always them, and then noses is off and reconstructed of this and that. And this is where it came out that it's like, oh, dang, okay. So we're reclaiming this empress, right? So we're in the Mott phase. It's an ancient cycle of sterility and drought. That's what we in now. The scorched earth, the refiner's fire, the illusions are being melted away so the Zenobia energy, the sovereign intelligence, can take the throne. That's the matriarch coming back to sit on the throne. Reclaiming the empress. This is the receipt. The womb is the first temple. The high place in ancient texts was often a mountain or an altar, but the original high place is the womb. The closest place you can meet Allah is in the heart. Mm. The mathematical receipt. The golden ratio is found in the spiral of galaxies, the growth of a cedar, and the proportions of the human body. This is the mother's signature. Zenobia's legacy. Queen Zenobia of Palmyra didn't just fight Rome. Now this was a sister, took some stuff down. This was a sister. A sister. She protected the philosophy of the East. She understood that a nation is only as strong as its connection to the source's womb, to the source. The womb. This was Queen Zenobia. Have y'all heard of Queen Zenobia before? This is why this sovereign intelligence has to come back through her. We don't even understand what this energy is. And we think because they're burning something that is bad. No, they have to burn it up to bring life, to restore some things. So, Zenobia, if you go into who this man, she was something else. She was taking it down. So, she was like literally, she was a beast for taking down Rome. You got to remember what's all intertwined in these things, right? So, we're reclaiming the empress. The womb is the first temple, the high place. The original high place is the womb, the mathematical receipt, the golden ratio. It's found in the spiral of the galaxies, the growth of a cedar, and the proportions of the human body. This is the mother's signature. That's our signature. Zenobia's legacy. Queen Zenobia of Palmyra didn't just fight Rome, she protected the philosophy of the East. So what do you think a woman's duty? That's why our duty is always to father first. You got to be about your father's work to get things done. She understood that a nation is only as strong as the connection to the source. What does it say? A nation can rise no higher than its woman. Well, this comes from Zenobia too. That was way, way back in the day. I mean, shoot, way before we ever was thought of. So, the internal alchemy. I want you to look at your hands. You are told you are black, white, or brown. These are all legal colors of a crayon box used by the state, the emperor. But in this temple, we speak the language of elements. You are carbon based. You are copper conductors. The golden bull on Wall Street is a 7,000-pound circuit breaker. It is designed to draw your currency, energy, away from your home into their bank. The river bank control of flow. The restoration is this. Stop the leak. Stop the leak, y'all. There's a leak in this old building and I've got to move. What she say? I've got to move. There's a leak in this old building and I got to move. We got to fix this leak. Stop the leak. Stop giving your spiritual gold to statuses and systems that do not breathe. Reclaim your nose. Reclaim your ka. Reclaim your spirit. Take back your breath of life. If they knocked the nose off the statues, it was to tell you that you don't have the right to breathe the air of sovereignty. Inhale your lineage. Inhale your lineage. Breathe out that bullcrap. You know what I'm saying? The womb is the law. If your law does not protect the mother, the earth, and the woman, Your law is a fabricated religion designed for unaliving. The receipts for the nation. So this would be something I could give out to you, post up, or whatever. You can ask me for it if you need to. But the biological receipts, melanin is carbon. I gave you the fact, melanin is a black hole in the biological sense. It absorbs all frequencies of life and converts them into sound and heat. You are a superconductor. When you are in alignment with the sun, you are literally charging your biological battery. When you are in religious programming, you are insulated and grounded, stuck in the dirt. The legal receipt, the person versus the man. This is the fact. In Latin, persona means a mask. Religion dresses the spirit in a mask, Christian, Jew, Muslim, etc., so that the state can manage the mask. The restoration is about taking off the mask and standing as the natural man, woman under the sun. The alchemical receipt, the 7 metals. I told you about them 7 metals. Ancient science linked them 7 planets to the 7 metals in the human body. That's gold, the sun, your spirit vitality. That's silver, the moon, your emotions and reflections. That's copper, Venus, your skin connection and love. And that's iron, Mars, your blood and your drive. Conclusion. If you don't understand the elements, the emperor will mine them for you. If you don't understand the elements, the emperor will mine them for you. So we are the old system being scorched so the natural habitat can return. Do not fear the burning of the old ways. The phoenix only rises when the nest is on fire. Y'all got to catch the codes. They throw codes at us. We are supposed to learn these things in signs and symbols, not based off of what you see, because about 80% of what you see is a doggone illusion. Period. 100%, I'm about to say. The phoenix only rises when the nest is on fire. You are the temple. You are the ark. You are the gold. Go forth and be the currency that this nation actually needs. Not paper, but power. So this is going to be my last before I go. I want to give you the chemistry of the more, the copper receipt, the science. So I have mentioned to this to the AI when I was doing the research paper, the tyrosinase, the enzyme in the electrician of the body. It uses copper to catalyze the oxidation of phenols, creating melanin. They call us minorities, but we are metallics. You cannot have a high-speed telecommunication system without copper. Your skin is the fiber optic cable of the earth. The Moorish connection. In the Quran questions for Moorish children, it asks, what is our nationality? The answer, Moorish American. Why? Because Moor is linked to martyros, dark, burned, carbonized. You are the children of the sun. The 6-6 carbon truth. The mark versus the makeup. The science carbon 12 is the foundation of life, right? This is a science. Carbon 12 is the foundation of life because you're 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. Religion taught you to fear 666 so you would fear your own DNA. They turned your carbon life into a beast so they could sell you a dream. Sell you a spirit that doesn't belong to the earth. But the prophet told us to love instead of hate. How can you love your neighbor if you are taught to fear the very atoms you are made of? The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Chapter 1. Man is the thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured by the time. For things that are concerned with time begin and end. Carbon is infinite bound. It is the black stone of the universe, Islam. The legal, spiritual, daily alignment ritual. Oh, yeah, I'm coming in a second. Okay. So I want you to perform something on a day-to-day basis. If you got some copper, scrape the rust off the copper. You are copper, so scrape the rust off of you too. Scrape the rust off the copper. Face the east to the rising sun at 7 a.m. Stand in the light. This is photo biomodulation. Let the sun hit your skin to activate the tyrosinase, the copper enzyme. The affirmation of the prophet. I am a citizen of the universe. My skin is the copper, my blood is the gold, my law is the truth. Before accepting any religious or political news, ask yourself, does this align with the natural law of the sun and the earth? Or is this a fabricated lie designed to buy my carbon? You gotta be able to hold on to your religion. Don't let nobody bind your carbon and create your religion for you. Don't let nobody do that. Don't let nobody do that to you. So before we go, because I got a client in about 10 minutes. Yeah, somebody got me on their head today, y'all. But I'm gonna go through some of these questions that are in our questionnaire because these are questions for more as children. But we are children too. We understand that. We children too when we come up in here. Right? So the great meeting is on because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. These are the one-on-ones. Some people say they got 120s, they got 102s. These came from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I don't know about nothing else. I only came out of the holy temple of science with the elders that been with the prophet since the beginning. So all the other stuff, I don't know. I go what resonates, how the prophet brings it to me and teaches me. But as you can see, the prophet on the front of this right here is bringing the woman out of the cares of the world. You must have better respect for womanhood. I don't care what religion, like I said, all religions. Baby, this is no respect for person, period. And I'm so sorry, yours ain't right. Because the prophet is the only one I've ever seen bringing an Asiatic woman or the woman out of the cares of the world, back on the solid rock of salvation, back to the highest plane of life, back with our Father God Allah. And you see, she has humanity on her dress. Humanity. Humanity is the woman. We're the only way that you can get here. Humanity. Take us out of the cares of the world, back to the highest plane of life. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought for us. No one else brought that. No one else spoke that. No one else spoke, have better respect for womanhood. No one else spoke, they had to pull us out of the perils of poverty. Because we're the ones that go through poverty the most, whether we're left with the children or not. Whether we with the man and we got the children, we're the ones that's going to suffer the poverty. So we have to be lifted up out of those perils. Quran questions for Moorish children. 1. Who made you? Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Can we see him? No. Where's the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart, closer than your jugular vein. Closer than the jugular vein. Who is Noble Drew Ali? He is Allah's prophet. What is a prophet? A prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in flesh. What is the duty of a prophet? Duty of a prophet. This is why we honor our prophets: Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc. Because a prophet's duty is to save nations from the wrath of Allah. Who is the founder of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science? Noble Drew Ali. What year was the Moorish Holy Temple of Science founded? In 1913 AD. Where? In Newark, New Jersey. Where was Noble Drew Ali born? In the state of North Carolina, 1886. What is his nationality? Moorish American. What is your nationality? Moorish American. Why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants or Moroccans and born in America. For what purpose was the Moorish Holy Temple of Science founded? For the uplifting of fallen humanity. How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans? By teaching them to be themselves. And that's where we end. I hope y'all enjoyed this because I got a client in like 5 minutes. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this demonstration today. But let's get out of this bashing each other based on religious views. Because if you ain't sat in these classes, if you ain't studied these lessons, you have no idea what Prophet Noble Drew Ali left us as a collective, as a nation of people. Because other practices want to keep you in a box. That's not what Prophet Noble Drew Ali did. He brought us a message that's a universal message that should be taught all over the world. So it's not to diss or discredit anyone, because you're going to find doctrine in scripture from every book. It's a compilation of the most important, and you unfold in the lessons. So don't talk bad about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali when you ain't never studied his work. Don't talk about the Muslims of America, North America, if you've never sat with us to study with us, because our first principle is love. So whatever y'all out here saying what a Muslim is and a Muslim is, you ain't came and hollered at the Muslims of North America. You have it. And I can tell by the language. I can tell by the way you talk. Because if you did, you would know Prophet Noble Drew Ali never brought that. And if justice takes its course, believe me, it's the wrath of Allah coming for the justice. And that's what's here now. We're in the Mott energy, as it said. The burning of the golden ball and all that is symbolic. To burn out the old and bring in the new. But fire brings birth. Fire brings it. It's a rebirth. It's like the phoenix. Like it said, that's a fire. I'm a fire sign. I know. How many times have I crawled out of the fire and became that phoenix again? Because life beats you up. We got to understand we are that. We are all that. I don't care where you're from. Moors ruled the world. They didn't rule a portion. They ruled the world. All right? So let's get it right. Let's study this too. We could get so much into other people's stuff, but we ain't really sat with this right here. We ain't really sat with this right here. We ain't really sat with this. And that's why those slits are still open on that circle. Not completely closed, even though we know it's closed now, but that's why it's open. Too much can seep in. Too much wrong. Too much of man's thoughts. Too much of what he feels will be in there. No more. No more. But you'll respect it. Put some respect on the Muslims of America. Whatever you ain't respecting what somebody else is doing, and if they following that nonsense and they being violent and that's what they want to do, they could be that. I rock with Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and he said peace. Peace be still. I can show you so many areas. He ain't trying to keep up no smoke with nobody. That's the folks that took over this movement that want to keep up smoke, because I just told y'all we in that my energy. We in that my energy. So giving all honors to the noble Prophet Drew Ali, giving him the highest honors for bringing this truth, and never steering from it. And I won't neither. I'm not a part of the go along to get along gang. So I'm always walking with the Prophet. I walked with him in the 1920s. I'm walking with him today without a doubt or contradiction, because I understand who I am without a doubt or contradiction. So carry this on your heart and carry it as you go, and understand you are all these elements. And now call your power back. Call it back to you. Call your realignment back. Call your binding back to your higher self. Because it has to move. It got to move. It got to move. It got to come back. It constantly goes up and down your spine all day long. It does this. deciding, are you gonna, oh, okay, come back down. If I come back down, you're gonna bring that nonsense back up here. And that's why you're acting in the way you do. So always know love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We stand on them 5 principles, and love is our first principle. So there's no way with love that there's anything hating on that. And to those out there spewing it, they're not a part of Drew Ali. They're part of something else. That's they spirits that ain't in alignment with what Drew Ali brought. Drew Ali said, learn how to love instead of hate. Learn how to love instead of hate. So, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship under his own vine and fig tree. The uniting of Asia. Islam, y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. Let me go get on this head. Got some hair to do today. Peace and love. This thing don't want to minimize. That ain't going on. I don't know why you ain't going off either. There we go. It didn't want to go. I hope